A volatile weather pattern is about to unleash chaos across America. Multiple major winter storms, severe weather in December, and January looks brutal. The back-and-forth battle between Arctic air and record warmth will create some of the most dangerous weather conditions in years. At the 5-minute 10-second mark, I'll reveal why the storm around December 19th could be the most intense system of the entire month, and at 3 minutes 45 seconds, you'll discover why models are predicting cold dominance all the way through the end of January. But first, you need to understand the pattern that's setting up right now. We're entering a completely different weather regime than what we've experienced in the first half of December. The last 15 days brought consistent, cold, and frequent snow east of the Rockies. That stability is ending. What's replacing it is volatility. Extreme volatility. The northern jet stream is positioned way up north. That opens the door for warm air to surge into the eastern United States repeatedly. But here's the critical part. That warm air won't stay. Cold fronts will crash through violently, creating a battleground between warmth and Arctic cold. And along that battleground, major storms will develop, one after another, each with the potential for significant impacts. Tuesday, December 16th and Wednesday, December 17th mark the first major warm-up. Temperatures climb well above average across the east. Areas that were below zero just days ago will reach the 40 seconds and 50 seconds. Some locations in the Midwest could spike into the 60 seconds. But a clipper system over southern Hudson Bay changes everything. Clippers typically bring cold fronts, and this one delivers. By Wednesday and Thursday, December 17th and 18th, the northeast corner of the nation gets blasted with cold air. Snowfall likely. Showers transition to snow as temperatures crash. Then comes the big one, around December 19th and 20th. A strong low-pressure system develops over the Great Lakes. This isn't a typical winter storm. This is an intense system with a powerful cold front and an Arctic air mass behind it unlike anything we've seen this season. Watch what happens. The leading edge produces thunderstorms, heavy showers, and the potential for severe weather across portions of the south and southeast. In December, we'll need to monitor this severe weather risk closely as we get closer. Behind the storms comes the Arctic blast, truly Arctic air, the kind that makes lake-effect snow machines roar to life. Heavy lake-effect snow blankets areas downwind of the Great Lakes. That's a testament to how cold the air mass really is. By December 19th and 20th, much of the eastern United States sits under frigid temperatures. Wind chills plummet, heating systems strain, roads freeze, and the cold doesn't ease quickly. Another clipper system follows, but this one stays well to the north. Unlike recent clippers that dove southward into the eastern states, this one tracks across Canada. That means the core Arctic air doesn't penetrate as far south, but the northern tier still feels it. December 22nd and 23rd bring cooler air again. Not as extreme as the 19th and 20th blast, but definitely below average. Then comes the warm-up for December 24th and 25th. Yes, Christmas looks warm for most of the country. I know that's disappointing for many hoping for a white Christmas, but the pattern simply doesn't support widespread snow on December 25th. Unless you're in the Pacific Northwest higher elevations or portions of the Northeast, white Christmas odds are low. But here's where it gets interesting. After Christmas, the pattern becomes transient. That means a lot of weather activity moving west to east. A miniature ridge develops over the west. A miniature trough sets up in the east. The flow is relatively zonal, meaning more horizontal than vertical. And in that pattern, northeastern snowfall becomes possible, maybe even likely. Systems after Christmas could bring accumulating snow to the northeast and southeastern Canada. It's far out, so confidence is limited. But it's something to watch. Now let me show you where the models disagree, because they disagree significantly. The European model overnight run shows the warmest pattern we've seen from that model in days. It keeps most of the country mild through late December, with limited snowfall opportunities except in the far northern areas. But the GFS American model tells a completely different story. Much colder. More snowfall opportunities. Persistent cold air hanging around the east through December 20th, 22nd, and 23rd. The GFS even shows a system trying to move through the mid-Atlantic bringing snowfall. That's well within 10 days. That's within reliable forecast range, definitely something to pay attention to. Around December 26th, both models show a snow system developing. Similar timing, different details. The European keeps it confined to the northeast. The GFS spreads it farther south and west. Which model is right? Too early to say definitively, but the GFS has been more consistent recently while the European just made a major shift toward warmth. When one model makes a sudden dramatic change, it's often correcting back toward the consensus within a day or two. Precipitation patterns show interesting signals. The Pacific Northwest stays wet, very wet. Above average precipitation continues. The east sees decent precipitation, but the plains? Almost nothing. Dry conditions dominate the middle of the country. Temperature anomalies reveal the pattern clearly. Below average along the deep south, Gulf states, and southeast. Above average in the northwest. This is a classic La Niña look. Textbook La Niña. But here's the important caveat. La Niña is weakening. We expect it to transition toward neutral ENSO conditions, possibly even El Niño, as we move through December, January, and February. That means the pattern will evolve. What works in December might not work in January. And that brings us to January. Because January looks brutal. The CFS model from the National Weather Service is their climate model. It looks at 10-day temperature anomalies extending weeks into the future, and what it shows is remarkable. December 16th through 26th, mildly cold in the mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Most of that cold happens in the next couple days. After that, briefly warmer. December 26th through January 5th, cooling back down. The warmth doesn't last. January 5th through 15th, cold dominates. Below average temperatures across much of the east. These models are not showing a brief warm spell followed by a return to normal. They're showing cold persistence through the end of January. The entire month trends colder than average for the eastern United States with multiple opportunities for snowfall. Now, will January 1st through January 29th be cold every single day? No, that's unrealistic. Every winter, even the coldest winters, have warmer spells. Temperatures fluctuate. That's how weather works. But the overall trend, the dominant pattern, favors below-average temperatures and active winter weather for the east through the end of January. That's a significant signal this far in advance. Let's break down the current Arctic blast and what follows. Right now, we're in the grip of serious cold. It's hard to even think about warmer temperatures when you're dealing with current conditions. Wind chills are brutal across the northern tier and down into the south. December 19th and 20th bring another Arctic blast, potentially stronger than the current one. Then a bit of cold for northern states by December 22nd. But warm-ups occur between these cold shots. That's the volatile nature of the pattern. Cold, warm, back and forth. The battleground shifts north and south repeatedly. December 24th through 30th trends warm according to the European model. That warm spell has been pushed back repeatedly in recent model runs. It was supposed to start earlier. Now it's delayed. Will it get delayed further? We'll see. The GFS model shows 3 distinct Arctic blasts. Number 1, current. Number 2, December 19th and 20th. Number 3, around December 22nd. Then it warms up, but colder air makes its way into the Great Lakes and Northeast. A cool down hits December 27th and 28th. Another one might follow after that. The GFS is more optimistic for snow lovers. More cold, more opportunities, more winter weather potential. But even it shows warm spells interrupting the cold. Here's the reality. This isn't a torch pattern. It's not a sustained warm-up that melts all snow and keeps temperatures consistently above average, but it's also not persistent cold and snow day after day. It's volatile. It's back and forth. It's a pattern where timing matters enormously. Be on the warm side of a front and you're in the 60 seconds. Be on the cold side and you're below zero. 60-degree difference across 200 miles. That creates travel nightmares. That creates forecast challenges. That creates dangerous conditions when people aren't prepared for rapid changes. Now let's talk about the severe weather risk building for mid to late December. When you have warm, moist air surging north and cold, dry air crashing south, you get severe thunderstorms. The zone where they collide becomes volatile, and we're seeing setups for that collision multiple times. December 18th and 19th pose the first significant severe weather risk. As that strong Great Lakes low develops, warm air surges ahead of the cold front. Thunderstorms develop. Some could be severe. We're monitoring this closely. It's too early for specifics on tornado risk or hail potential, but damaging winds will be on the table. And in December, even a slight severe weather risk deserves attention because nobody expects it. More severe weather opportunities exist around Christmas and beyond as additional cold fronts blast through. One of these setups will produce a significant severe weather outbreak, maybe even tornadoes. It happens almost every late December in patterns like this. The question isn't if, the question is when and where, and we won't know that until we're 24 to 48 hours out. For the Pacific Northwest, the atmospheric river parade continues. storm after storm. Rainfall measured in feet, not inches. For some locations, mountain snow measured in multiple feet. Flooding remains a persistent threat through at least Christmas. Rivers stay elevated. Ground stays saturated. Each new storm compounds the problem. This isn't getting better anytime soon. If you're in flood-prone areas of Washington or Oregon, you need ongoing vigilance through the holidays. For the Rockies and northern plains, heavy snow events are likely. Not necessarily consistent snow, but big dumps when storms track through. Mountain passes will close repeatedly. Backcountry avalanche danger will be extreme after heavy snowfall. For the Great Lakes, lake-effect snow will be prolific whenever Arctic air masses move through. Downwind areas could see multiple feet of snow accumulation through the end of December. If you live in typical lake-effect zones, prepare for frequent heavy snow. For the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, the pattern offers hope. After a frustrating start to December with limited snow, opportunities are increasing. The system around December 22nd or 23rd could be significant. The post-Christmas systems could deliver, and January looks very active. For the South and Southeast, prepare for wild temperature swings and periodic severe weather threats. What's 75 degrees Monday could be 30 degrees Thursday. Have both air conditioning and heating ready to go. Have severe weather plans even though it's winter. For the plains, you're stuck in the dry zone. Limited precipitation. Occasional cold blasts. But nothing like what the coasts are experiencing. Fire danger remains a concern during warm, dry, windy periods. At the 20-minute mark, let me address what this pattern means for your holiday plans. Travel will be challenging. Not impossible, but challenging. The back-and-forth nature means conditions change rapidly. A route that's clear today could be hazardous tomorrow. A flight that departs fine could arrive in terrible conditions. Build flexibility into plans. Have backup options. Monitor forecasts constantly. Be willing to delay or reroute. The worst travel disasters happen when people force their plans despite deteriorating conditions. For outdoor holiday activities, watch the forecast closely. That Christmas parade scheduled for December 24th could be 60 degrees and sunny. Could be 20 degrees and snowing. Check 2 to 3 days before, not a week before. For holiday shopping and errands, take advantage of milder days. When temperatures are reasonable, get out and get things done. When Arctic blasts hit, stay home if possible. Stock up before cold arrives. For holiday decorating, secure outdoor items better than usual. This volatile pattern means high winds accompanying multiple cold fronts. Decorations that aren't secured will blow away or get damaged. For holiday guests traveling to you, communicate clearly about conditions. If you're in a snowbelt area and they're driving from the south, they might not understand what lake effect snow means. Brief them, help them prepare. Here's what to watch for in the next 7 days specifically. December 16th through 18th. First warm-up followed by cold front and clipper system. Northeast gets snow. South stays mild. Plains see the frontal passage but limited precipitation. December 19th through 21st. Major storm system with severe weather potential south, heavy snow potential north, and Arctic blast behind it. This is the highest impact period of the next 10 days. December 22nd through 23rd. Lingering cold with another weak system possibly bringing snow to parts of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Still within reasonable forecast range, so watch this closely. December 24th through 26th, Christmas warm-up for most areas. White Christmas limited to higher elevations and far northeast. Post-Christmas system possible for northeast. As we close out this forecast, here's what you need to remember. This isn't the stable cold pattern of early December. This is a volatile battleground pattern. Arctic air versus warm air, major storms along the boundaries, severe weather possible, heavy snow possible, rapid changes guaranteed. January extends this volatility but with cold dominance in the east. More snow opportunities. More winter storms. More active weather. If you've been frustrated by lack of snow so far, January offers hope. If you're tired of cold, January looks challenging. This pattern requires constant weather awareness. Check forecasts daily. Monitor radar during active periods. Have emergency supplies ready. Be flexible with plans. And take warnings seriously even when they seem unusual for the season. Severe thunderstorm warnings in December are rare but real. Blizzard warnings in December are uncommon in some areas but possible this year. Flooding warnings in the Pacific Northwest are persistent. Take all of them seriously. The next major forecast update comes Wednesday evening after we see how the December 19th storm system sets up. That update will have specifics on severe weather risk, snow potential, and refined Christmas forecast. There's a lot happening. A lot changing. The pattern is complex and challenging to forecast precisely, but the overall theme is clear: volatility, major storms, and cold dominance in January. You have the information. You have the timeline. You have the warnings. Use them wisely. Stay informed. Stay flexible. Stay safe. This volatile pattern will test everyone, but with preparation and awareness, you'll navigate it successfully. The wild ride is just beginning. The next update drops Wednesday evening. Until then, stay weather aware.